Senate will come to order. All those not having privilege at the floor will please vacate the chamber. Those in the gallery and those on the floor will please rise as we're led in prayer by the junior senator from the 16th. Please remain standing after the prayer as the senior senator from the 8th leads us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today we pray in your great name, Creator. We pray for the people of Ukraine, and we hope that our leadership can be like President Zelensky, who leads with courage, humility, and by example. Creator, give us wisdom and humility, and remind us that we are public servants. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechecheyonu v'kiyamonu v'higionu lazman hazeh, which means, blessed art thou, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has brought us to this happy day. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Senior Senator from the 8th.
Standing and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading of the Journal.
West Virginia Legislature, Senate Journal, March 3rd, 2022. The Senate met at 11:17 a.m. Senator BLAIR, Mr. President, in the chair.
The senator from Lewis requests unanimous consent to further reading of the journals dispensed with and the journal be approved. Is there objection? Chair hears none. Further reading of the journals dispensed with and the journals approved. Introduction of guest. On behalf of the Senate, it is my pleasure to welcome our honorary pages for the day. Please stand and be recognized as your name is called. As guests is the senator from Boone, Caleb Messer, and Elia Beckett. As guests is the junior senator from the 8th, Kendra Kalin, Mallory Pell, and Amelia Canterbury. As guests is the senator from Greenbrier, Gregory Gay. As guests is the senator from Tucker, Ava Marie Simmons, and Gabriella Berry. And as guests is the senior senator from the 17th, Kenneth McLaughlin. Will the Senate please make our pages welcome? Are there further introductions? Senator from Boone.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Senator from Logan, we're very pleased to have the chaperone of our pages today from Scott High School. We are honored to have Boone County Commissioner, Scott High School Principal, and probably more important to him, Caleb Messer's father, Jacob Messer, as the chaperone today. If he'd stand, the Senate make him welcome.
Senior Senator from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the Senate President's Gallery, we also have with us the chaperone for our page from John Adams Middle School, Kenneth's father, Kevin McLaughlin. If you wouldn't mind standing, let's give you a warm welcome.
Are there further introductions? Junior Senator from the 8th.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. On your behalf and on behalf of the senior senator from the 8th and the seated in the President's Gallery, we have the chaperones for our honorary pages from Elkview Middle School, Kendra Callan's mother, Michelle Callan, and Mallory Pell's mother, Jennifer Pell. If they could both stand up, and if the Senate could make them feel welcome.
Further introductions. The Senator from Greenbrier.
Thank you, Mr. President. On your behalf and behalf of the Senator from Summers, we have with us in your gallery the chaperone for Gregory from Eastern Greenbrier Middle School. We're very pleased to have with us his mom, Ashley, who is a city council member in Roncevert, and his uncle, Roger, who I had the pleasure of growing up with. So will the Senate please make Ashley and Roger feel welcome?
Further introductions. Senator from Tucker.
Thank you, Mr. President. And seated in the President's Gallery, we have the mothers of my two honorary pages of Ava's mother, Amanda Simmons, if she would stand, and Gabrielle's mother, Michelle Berry, if they would stand, and the members make them welcome.
Are there further introductions? Communications from the House.
There are none.
Communications from the executive.
There are none.
Reports from standing committees.
Your Committee on Finance has had under consideration engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 2096, reinstating the film investment tax credit, and has amended same, and reports the same back with the recommendation that it do pass as amended. Respectfully submitted, Eric J. TARR, Chair.
Report will be received.
Your Committee on the Judiciary has had under consideration engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 2838, authorize the ordering of restitution to the state for reimbursements of costs incurred for misuse of public funds, and to create the State Auditor's Public Integrity and Fraud Fund for use of said funds. And reports the same back with the recommendation that it do pass, but under the original double committee reference, first be referred to the Committee on Finance. Respectfully submitted, Charles S. Trump IV, Chair.
Report will be received, and under the original double committee reference, the bill will be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Your Committee on Health and Human Resources has had under consideration engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4113, Public Health Definitions of Powers of Secretary and Commissioner, and has amended same, and engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4257, require visitation immediately following a procedure in a healthcare facility, and has amended same, and reports the same back with the recommendation that they each do pass as amended. Respectfully submitted, Michael J. Maroney, Chair.
Report will be received.
Your Committee on the Judiciary has had under consideration engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4297 to facilitate the sharing of information between the Department of Health and Human Resources and the State Auditor's Office in order to investigate reports of financial abuse and neglect of a vulnerable adult, and reports the same back with the recommendation that it do pass. Respectfully submitted, Charles S. Trump IV, Chair.
Report will be received.
Your Committee on Health and Human Resources has had under consideration engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4344 relating to foster care, and has amended same, and reports the same back with the recommendation that it do pass as amended, but under the original double committee reference, first be referred to the Committee on Finance. Respectfully submitted, Michael J. Maroney, Chair.
Report will be received, and under the original double committee reference, the bill will be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Your Committee on Finance has had under consideration engrossed House Bill 4396, reducing federal adjusted gross income relating to tolls for travel on West Virginia toll roads paid electronically. Engrossed House Bill 4410, specifying allocation, apportionment, and treatment of income of flow-through entities. Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4451, eliminating the requirement that otherwise qualified investment assets be located or installed at or within 2 miles of a pre-existing manufacturing facility. Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4461, relating to the consolidation of all administrative fees collected by the agency into the existing Tax Administration Services Fund. And engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4484, declaring certain claims against agencies of the state to be moral obligations of the state, and reports the same back with the recommendation that they each do pass. Respectfully submitted, Eric J. TARR, Chair.
Report will be received.
Your Committee on Finance has had under consideration engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4567, relating to business and occupation or privilege tax, and has amended same, and reports the same back with the recommendation that it do pass as amended. Respectfully submitted, Eric J. TARR, Chair.
Report will be received. Report from select committees.
There are none.
Introduction of bill, Senior Senator from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent that Senate Bill 731 through Senate Bill 733 be considered introduced, read by their titles, and referred to the appropriate committees as shown on the chamber automation system.
Senior Senator from the 17th requests unanimous consent that Senate Bill 731 through Senate Bill 733 be considered introduced, read by their titles, and referred to the appropriate committees as shown on the chamber automation system. Is there objection? Chair hears none, so ordered. Resolutions.
Senate Resolution 50 by Senator Lindsay, designating March 7th, 2022 as West Virginia Library Day at the Legislature.
Under the rules of the Senate, the resolution will lie over 1 day. Motions. Petitions.
There are none.
Unfinished business.
Senate Resolution 48, congratulating George Washington High School Patriots girls swim team for winning the 2022 state championship.
Junior Senator from the 17th.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be taken up for immediate consideration and that the committee reference be dispensed with and the resolution be put upon its adoption.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. The clerk will read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 48, congratulating George Washington High School Patriots girls swim team for winning the 2022 state championship.
Question is on adoption of the resolution. Junior Senator from the 17th.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I wish that they were here today, but our move up in time, they'll be here later, so hopefully we'll catch them at the end. But anyway, Senate Resolution 48, on behalf of the senior senator from the 17th and both senators from the 8th, is to congratulate the George Washington High School 2022 women's or ladies state championship swim team. This is the third year in a row that the team has won this championship, and they've won 7 out of the last 10. And if the members would just bear with me while I recognize each of the names. They are coached by Lynn Wiltshire. The assistant coach is Doug Price, and the team members are Caroline Basil, Lily Blake, Kara Edstrom, Ansley Lewis, Emma Martin, Madeline McLaughlin, Morgan Reynolds, Olivia Ridnor, Maddie Schaefer, Catherine St. Jean, Amelia Walco, Ashley Wiltshire, and Faith Wu. And in particular, Madeline McLaughlin was the state champion in the 500-yard freestyle and the 200-yard IM, and Ashley Wiltshire won the 100-yard freestyle. I look for the members to join us in adopting this resolution and congratulating the team. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is there further discussion? If not, the question is adoption of the resolution. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the resolution adopted.
Senate Resolution 49, memorializing the Honorable Naomi Sue Klein, wife, mother, realtor, former member of the West Virginia Senate, and dedicated public servant.
Senator from Raleigh.
Mr. President, I request unanimous consent that the resolution be taken up for immediate consideration, committee reference be dispensed with, and the resolution be put upon its adoption.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. The clerk will read the resolution. Will those on the floor and those in the gallery please rise as reading of the resolution?
Senate Resolution 49, memorializing the life of the Honorable Naomi Sue Klein, wife, mother, realtor, former member of the West Virginia Senate, and dedicated public servant. Whereas the Honorable Sue Klein was born in Welch, West Virginia on May 28, 1946, the daughter of the late Ralph Cook and Ora Short Cook. And whereas the Honorable Sue Klein was a lifelong resident of Wyoming County and made her home in Brenton, West Virginia. And whereas the Honorable Sue Klein was a realtor for more than 20 years and was a member of the West Virginia State Realtors Association. And whereas the Honorable Sue Klein was a member of the West Virginia Senate, where she represented the citizens of the 9th Senatorial District from 2016 to 2020. And whereas the Honorable Sue Klein, during her tenure, served as chair of the Committee on Interstate Cooperation, and as a member of the Committees on Agriculture and Rural Development, Economic Development, Education, Energy, Industry and Mining, the Judiciary, Military, and Natural Resources. And whereas the Honorable Sue Klein was a devout Christian and a faithful member of Brenton Baptist Church. And whereas, sadly, the Honorable Sue Klein passed away at the age of 75 on December 29, 2021, bringing an end to a life devoted to faith, family, and public service, and leaving behind a host of family and friends, all of whom will miss her dearly. And whereas it is fitting that we pay tribute to the life and legacy of the Honorable Sue Klein, a proud native daughter of Southern West Virginia, and a fierce fighter and advocate for the people of Wyoming and Raleigh counties. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate that the Senate hereby memorializes the life of the Honorable Naomi Sue Klein, wife, mother, realtor, former member of the West Virginia Senate, and dedicated public servant. And be it further resolved that the Senate extends its sincere condolences to the family of the Honorable Sue Klein on her passing. And be it further resolved, the clerk is hereby directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the family of the Honorable Sue Klein.
Question is on adoption of the resolution. Is there discussion? Senator from Raleigh.
Thank you, Mr. President. When I began to embark on this journey toward the Senate, Sue Klein became a very good friend. Sue was one who actually told me about everything I needed to do, because you never had to wonder what she was thinking. She would tell you. And her heart was in the right place. She really was passionate about what she believed in and stood up for. And sometimes that was very boisterous and passionate, but it was a real blessing. And I'm thankful to be able to have known her, to have served with her for the 2 years that we were able to serve in this chamber together, and certainly do miss her in this place.
Is there further discussion? Senior Senator from the 6th.
Sue was such a good soul. She was genuine, and when she was making decisions up here, it was because of what she thought was right. She didn't think, gee, how many constituents will vote for me if I vote this way. She honestly tried to do what was right. It was a pleasure to work with her, and she'll be thoroughly missed.
Further discussion? Further, Senator from Pleasants.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sue and I became good friends when she came in the Senate. We had a lot in common. We had both lost our husbands to heart attacks, so we had that in common. We had our children in common, and then our great-grandchildren. And you've all heard me talk about Ellie Mae. Well, she had her own Ellie Mae. She was about a month younger than mine. So we shared videos back and forth of our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. And I think she had 4 great-grandchildren. And it wasn't unusual for me to be sending her videos and her sending me videos of her grandchildren. The word passionate has been used to describe Sue, and she was. We shared a suite at the Residence Inn for the 4 years she was here. She would come in from Judiciary Committee some nights. She'd be so upset, she would stand there with tears in her eyes. She felt so passionate about a bill that was passing or wasn't passing. But I think I knew as much about judiciary then. She was very helpful in my understanding what was going on in some of the other committees. She loved all of you. She was someone that always looked for the best in everyone. I remember hearing from some of our doctors here in the Senate where, when I was having some problems a couple of years ago, she was calling them to, will you check on Donna? Would you let me know how Donna's doing? And I really appreciate that. And I remember one day I wasn't able to come to work, and she called and, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine. And she drove from Wyoming County up to check on me, and then drove back to Wyoming County that night. So she's the person that I consider a real friend. The last time I heard from her or texted her was on Christmas Eve, 2021, and I didn't hear from her after that. And we will all certainly miss her. She was a great state senator.
Is there further discussion? Senator from Brooke.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the first 4 years that I was here in the Senate, I had the pleasure of sharing an office with Sue. And when I say it was an honor and a pleasure, it really was. You probably couldn't have found 2 people that may have been different in this body. Me coming from the northern part of the state, and Sue from the southern part of the state. But I got to know her very well, and I thought she was a tremendous woman and a tremendous representative of her people. Sue had a mirror in her office that I would most mornings end up going in and to check my tie and make sure that I had tied it straight and the knot was all right. And she would roll her eyes when I would go in every morning. Why don't you just go buy one? And so when Sue left the Senate in 2020, I came down here right after and for interims. And that mirror was in my office, and there was a note on the mirror. And you can hear Sue saying this: "Stay purdy, P-U-R-D-Y. Thank you for being there for me. I will miss you." And I miss Sue, and I think we all in here do. Sue loved Wyoming County. I've never met anybody that loved their individual county like Sue. Sue was Wyoming County to me. And I think the people there probably really respected her and loved the passion that she had for not just Wyoming County, but southern West Virginia. She worked really hard here for them. Probably harder than anybody I've seen in this body, up and down the halls in those heels that she wore, the meetings that she had, the binders of information that she had, the things that she was always working on. So I will miss Sue very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is there further discussion? Senator from Tucker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of the resolution. Sue and I got to be pretty good friends, and I think a lot of it was because in a way we acted a lot alike with our passion. And what I loved about Sue was she had spunk. I mean, that was the first thing I noticed about her was she stood for what she believed in. And like the gentleman said, she loved Wyoming County and all southern West Virginia. And she never backed down from anyone. That was the trait I really loved about her. I can remember one time when one of the controversial issues was going on down here, and we was leaving Judiciary Committee. I served on Judiciary with her, and someone in the audience, as we was leaving, it was a packed committee room, yelled something pretty bad at her. And I had to grab Sue because she's going out in the audience after this person. And she was just shaking her fingers and saying, "You're just mean, you're mean." I mean, and I was saying, "Come on, Sue, just calm down, calm down." No, I'm not letting them talk. But I loved her spunk and her class. She had class. She would straighten up my tie and say, "Here, you know, your tie's crooked. You got to always look good. You always got to look good." And Sue always looked good. She was always really conscious about her appearance, and she was just a sweet lady. And another thing that I really loved about her and noticed is her love for the senator from Pleasants County. She loved Senator BOLEY like no other. I mean, she worried about her, and she was just a good person. She had a good heart, and with my time down here in the Senate, like I said, I've never met anyone with the passion she had for her area and the love she had for people, and especially her grandchildren. We talked about her grandchildren quite a bit, but when she didn't get to come back, I truly missed her. We kept in touch and spoke to her often, and she was just a wonderful person. And like I said, I'll never forget her spunk. I always liked her spunk because if I was a drinker and wanted to go to the bar to fight, I would have took Sue Klein with me because she would back down from no one. So, Mr. President, I urge adoption of the resolution.
Is there further discussion? If not, question is on adoption of the resolution. Thank you. Roll call's been demands sustained. Demand is sustained. All those in favor will vote yea. Those opposed will vote nay. The clerk shall prepare the machine. Has every member voted? Has every member voted? If so, the clerk close the machine and ascertain the results. On this question, 32 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absent not voting. More than a majority of those present voting, I declare the resolution adopted. Senior Senator from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent that the eloquent remarks made for a past senator from the senators from Raleigh, senior senator from the 6th, from Pleasantsboro, Kentucky be placed in the appendix of the journal.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. So ordered. Bills on third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for Senate Bill 250, the budget bill, third reading of the bill.
Question is on passage of the bill. Senior Senator from the 4th.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the budget bill from the Senate. This committee substitute reflects the actions of the Senate thus far in the legislative process. This is a starting point for the final product that will be a combination of both the Senate and the House's proposed budgets. The Senate's proposed budget is $19,196,367,725 in estimated revenue and spending authority. This total is a combination of federal and state funds. The general revenue appropriation for fiscal year 23 is $4,645,424,000, which mirrors the governor's official revenue estimate, leaving $0 unappropriated. The committee substitute leaves the majority of the governor's proposed budget intact with a few adjustments. And it should be noted that the average 5% raise for state employees is still included in the committee substitute. Reductions that were made to the governor's introduced budget in accordance with an adjustment letter to the committee received from CPRB totaling $9,049,000 to reduce the teacher's retirement system and teacher unfunded liability appropriations. These reductions were made as well as a second reduction was made to the West Virginia State University General Administration appropriation in the amount of $300,000. Finally, a small reduction in general revenue claims against the state was made to mirror the amount in Senate Bill 571, which was the claims bill against the state bill. Total reductions that were made to the governor's introduced budget were $9,356,126. Improvements that were made to the budget total $9,356,134, and this number is $8 more than the amount of the reductions, but the governor's left $8 unappropriated in his introduced budget, resulting in a very slight budget improvement from the Senate. These improvements are broken down into three categories: adjustments, discretionary, and surplus pre-funding. The adjustments are as follows. One adjustment to the judge's retirement system in the amount of $20,000 based on a CPRB adjustment letter. And in discretionary, there we have a total of 8 items that I'll go through here in discretionary. $957,720 to provide public defenders a 5% pay raise along with all other state employees. $1 million for the Division of Natural Resources for the enhancement of the equine industry. $2 million in additional funding for the Department of Tourism to support the promotion of the state. $500,000 improvement package for the Department of Economic Development, which includes money for the Robert C. Byrd Institute, funds for the Taiwan Trade Office, and additional money for the Hatfield-McCoy Trail. $1.2 million in additional funding for the sexual assault intervention. $300,000 for the Division of Human Services to support the Green Acres Regional Center in Cabell County. $30,000 for the operation of the Sistersville Ferry. And finally, $1.8 million for the West Virginia State $1.8 million for West Virginia State. $800,000 for that is a new appropriation for the healthy grandfamilies, and an additional $1 million for the West Virginia State University land grant match. The surplus pre-funding section, these items were originally placed in the general revenue surplus section of the governor's introduced budget. The Senate's committee substitute moves these items to the front of the budget from the back of the budget. $300,000 for the Department of Agriculture Meat Inspection Fund, $150,000 for the Educational Broadcasting Authority, $946,004 for the Department of Veterans Assistance, and $149,783 for the Veterans Home. No changes were made to the road fund, lottery fund, excess lottery fund, and federal block grants. Spending authority and special revenue was increased to $1,351,800 in the oil and gas reclamation fund to comply with provisions of Senate Bill 480. Federal spending authority was increased $160,000 for Workforce West Virginia to provide for the provisions in Senate Bill 543. Finally, 2 items were added to the general revenue surplus. $50 million for the Miners Mutual Insurance Company created by this passage of Senate Bill 1. This item was placed as the first item in the surplus. And the second item and last item is $600 million for the Economic Development Authority to stabilize the revolving fund. This item was placed as the last item in the surplus section. Mr. President, I urge passage.
Question is on passage of the bill. Is there discussion? If not, question for the Senate is, shall the bill pass? All those in favor will vote yea. Those opposed will vote nay. The clerk should prepare the machine. Senator from Mason. Has every member voted? Has every member voted? If so, the clerk will close the machine and ascertain the results on this question. 32 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absent, not voting. More than a majority of those elected having voted in the affirmative, I declare the bill passed. Senior Senator from the 17th.
Mr. President, I move the bill be made effective from passage and request unanimous consent that the roll call used on passage of the bill be used to make it so effective.
Senior Senator from the 17th moves the bill be made effective from passage and request unanimous consent that the roll call used on the passage of the bill be used to make it so effective. Is there objection? Chair hears none. On this question, 32 yeas, 0 nays, 2 absent, not voting. More than 2/3 of those elected to the Senate having voted in the affirmative, I declare the bill effective from passage. The clerk will communicate the actions of the Senate to the House. Bills on second reading.
Engrossed House Bill 2817, Donated Drug Repository Program. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, sir. The Committee on Health and Human Resources moved to amend the bill on page 9, section 6.
Senator from Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. President. In order to explain this amendment, I probably have to give a little background of the bill. Mr. President, I request unanimous consent to explain the amendment in lieu of having it read.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Senator from Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. President. And, I give a little bit of background of the bill so the amendment makes sense. But basically, this is a House bill that came across and created a donated drug repository program. Basically, just in a nutshell, if somebody has unused drugs that are, like say, expensive drugs such as chemotherapy drugs, for instance, and they're still sealed. So a lot of times those medications will come in individual packages as opposed to a bottle. And so if they're in individual packages still sealed, and for some reason their medication regimen needs to change, they're able to, donate those drugs. So that's the bill. What our amendment did, and this is a committee amendment that is before us now on the floor, is it gave liability protection for the person that donates or gives drugs to an eligible recipient. It also provided the entity participating in the drug donation program or drug repository program operated by another state may participate in this program. In the case of a pharmacy, may dispense donated drugs to residents of this state. So, Mr. President, this amendment is about the liability protections for this program, and I urge adoption.
Is there discussion? If not, the question for the Senate is adoption of the amendment offered by the Committee on Health and Human Resources. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the amendment adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4065, allowing the Division of Natural Resources to teach hunter safety courses in schools. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, sir. The Committee on Education moved to amend the bill by striking out everything after the enacting clause.
Senator from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent to explain the amendment in lieu of having it read.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Senator from Jefferson.
This amendment replaces the requirement that the hunter safety training be scheduled outside the regular hours of instruction with allowing the program to be scheduled either during the school day or outside the school day. And it amends the requirement that the program be offered once per semester in every middle school by instead requiring that it be offered at least once every spring semester and allowing it to also be offered during the fall semester. I'm happy to answer questions. I urge adoption.
Is there discussion? If not, the question for the Senate is adoption of the amendment offered by the Committee on Education. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the amendment adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4282 relating to establishing next generation 911 services in this state. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4286 relating to exempting persons employed as attorneys from the civil service system. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4291 relating to authorizing legislative rules regarding higher education. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4324 to update collaborative pharmacy practice agreements. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, sir. The Committee on Health and Human Resources moved to amend the bill by striking out everything after the enacting clause.
Senator from Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent to explain the amendments and that all amendments considered one.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Senator from Marshall.
Mr. President, this is striking a third amendment for the bill. The amendment makes changes in the definition of collaborative pharmacy practice agreement to include a medical provider in training where the agreement is signed by the supervising physician or chairperson of the medical department where the medical provider in training is practicing. The definition strikes approval by the board. This first part, Mr. President, allows for those in training in medical school to those departments to participate in the collaborative practice agreement. A definition is inserted for healthcare system to mean an organization of people, institutions, and resources that deliver healthcare services to meet the healthcare needs of a target population. Mr. President, with respect to the pharmacist scope, the board approval is removed. A definition of practice notification is added to mean written notice to the appropriate licensing board that an individual physician or physician group or medical provider in training where the agreement is signed by the supervising physician or chairperson of the medical department and an individual pharmacist or pharmacist will practice in the collaboration. So, Mr. President, this allows the collaboration between the pharmacy or pharmacist and the medical provider, and if they have that collaborative agreement, they just have to notify the respective boards as opposed to getting board approval. With respect to the selection regarding practice agreement, it is expanded to include a practice notification. This section includes that a pharmacist or group of pharmacists may practice in collaboration with physicians in any practice setting, including but not limited to a healthcare system, pursuant to a practice notification which has been filed with the appropriate board. Mr. President, there is language in to grandfather existing agreements. The practice notification shall become effective immediately upon filing of the notification. The boards retain jurisdiction to investigate their respective licensees. The language regarding appeals has been removed from the bill. Mr. President, I urge adoption.
Is there discussion? If not, question for Senate is adoption of the amendment offered by the Committee on Health and Human Resources. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the amendment adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4345 relating to motor vehicle registration cards by establishing electronic or mobile registration cards. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4380 relating to transportation of athletic teams. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, sir. The Committee on Education moved to amend the bill on page 3, section 13.
Senator from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent to explain the amendment in lieu of having it read.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Senator from Jefferson.
Thank you. This amendment includes changes relating to student transportation to school-sponsored activities that the Senate Education Committee passed earlier this session in Senate Bill 267, including such changes as allowing service employees to be certified to drive county board-owned vehicles having a seating capacity of fewer than 10 passengers that professional employees currently can be certified to drive, allowing students to be transported in a county-owned or leased vehicle that does not meet school bus or public transit ratings if the seating capacity of the vehicle is less than 10 passengers. Happy to answer any questions. I urge adoption.
So discussion. Senator from Brooke.
To the members, this may sound familiar. We had this pretty much the same exact bill. It was a bill that I had sponsored, that the education chair had run and went over to the House. But what we have before us is the same exact language, except that it limits the vehicles that can be driven by the county, the number of vans to 2. Otherwise, the bill is the same, or the amendment is the same. So I support the committee's work and what they've done here. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is there further discussion? If not, the question for the Senate is adoption of the amendment offered by the Committee on Education. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the amendment adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4426, repeal Article 3325G1 at SEC, creating provider-sponsored networks. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4462, relating to deferred retirement option plan evaluation. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4489, require counties to post open positions on statewide job banks. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, sir. The Committee on Education moved to amend the bill on page 1, section 7A, line 4, after the word professional.
Senator from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent to explain the amendment in lieu of having it read.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. So ordered.
This amendment is technical in nature. It adds the words service and curricular in one place. It needed to be added so that it would be consistent with other parts of the bill. I urge adoption.
Is there discussion? If not, the question for the Senate is adoption of the amendment offered by the Committee on Education. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the amendment adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4517, relating to the repealing requirements to display video ratings. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4535, repeal section relating to school attendance and satisfactory academic progress as conditions of licensing for privilege of operation of motor vehicle. Second reading of the bill.
Senior Senator from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent that the bill move to third with right to amend.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. So ordered.
Engrossed committee substitute for House Bill 4631, establishing a bone marrow and peripheral blood system donation awareness program. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading.
Engrossed House Bill 4649, transferring the operations of the West Virginia Children's Health Insurance Program to the Bureau for Medical Services. Second reading of the bill.
Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, sir. The Committee on Health and Human Resources moved to amend the bill on page 10.
Senator from Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent to explain the amendment.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Senator from Marshall.
Again, I'll start with a little bit background of the bill here. This bill basically transfers the operations of the West Virginia CHIP program, which is the Children's Health Insurance Program, to the Bureau for Medical Services. And it delegates policy-making authority from the current Board of Directors to the Director. The amendment merely strikes a section of the bill exempting the Children's Health Insurance Program from the chapter of the code that regulates insurance. Mr. President, I urge adoption.
Is there discussion? If not, the question for the Senate is adoption of the amendment offered by the Committee on Health and Human Resources. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. I declare the amendment adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
No, sir.
The bill will be advanced to third reading. Bills on first reading. Senior Senator from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request unanimous consent that all bills on first reading be considered read a first time and advanced to second reading.
Is there objection? Chair hears none. Bills will be advanced. Introduction of guest. Senior Senator from the 17th for a motion. Senior Senator from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in recess until 12 o'clock, subject to announcements.
Are there announcements? Senator from Brooke.
Mr. President, your Committee on the Judiciary will meet at 10 a.m. in room 208 West.
Further announcements. further announcements? Senator from Boone.
Mr. President, in the form of an announcement and perhaps a little introduction as well, I'd like to announce the presence of our good friend Don Perdue, former House of Delegate member, well known to all of us here in the chamber.
Are there further announcements? If not, motion by the senior senator from the 17th to recess until noon, 12 p.m. today. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. We'll be in recess till noon.